Africa, a land of boundless beauty and immense resources. Home to a population of over 1.4 billion, the pulse of Africa's economy is driven by its resilient women.
Money that is generated by Africans, be it in the diaspora or within Africa, builds Africa. We are not afraid to invest in remote areas.
In 2022, a key trade agreement came to life.
We believe that the African Free Continental Trade Area has some of the best objectives we've seen on any regional agreement.
An agreement that promises to revolutionize its economy.
We were playing in 120 million markets. Now we're playing with a billion potential market.
And the empowerment of its women entrepreneurs hold the key to its success.
So this is the biggest segment of our community that we cannot leave out.
However, a pertinent question lingers.
How do we get ready as women entrepreneurs for AfCFTA? That's, I think, the number one big question for me.
Women Beyond Borders. They are forward-thinking, tech-savvy, harnessing local raw materials, building made-in-Africa brands, and uplifting their communities in their wake. Together, they could unlock Africa's potential under the Africa Free Continental Trade Area. It's a new dawn. Juliet Tusime is poised to conquer the day. Fueled by ambition, meeting her supplier is at the top of her list. Uganda is one of the world's largest producer of bananas, yet much of the fruit goes to waste. Juliet is adding value to the stems, crafting them into plant-based alternatives for synthetic hair extensions.
What we have been doing here right now is cutting down the stems. So after we do that, we take off the fruit and then we carry the stem to the truck to our processing place.
Her product has been a hit, winning customers in different African countries. However, there is a daunting challenge: inadequate capital to go full-scale commercial.
I don't own collateral. If I go to a bank, they are going to ask me for land titles. They are going to ask me for things I do not own as a woman. It's not easy. It's not even about land. It's about the machinery. It's about the capital that I need to run my operations. It's hard, you know.
Juliet is part of a rising wave of African female entrepreneurs with the power to drive intra-Africa trade and unlock economic opportunities under the single market. Africa is renowned for its highly entrepreneurial women, boasting the world's highest proportion of female entrepreneurs. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, more than a quarter of all businesses were either started or are run by women on the continent.
These businesses for women are micro. They are informal. They don't have any formalization at all. They are not registered. They do not file taxes. So they are purely informal. An informal woman entrepreneur cannot walk into a bank. They actually fear a banking hall. An informal woman entrepreneur does not have collateral. How many women entrepreneurs in Uganda have land in their names? How many have logbooks in their names? So they do not have the collateral to get money from the banks. So that's already a no-go area for them. Now, when they start their businesses, they stay small, they stay micro. The funding is not coming in because they are not investment ready, you know. So at the end of the day, if they are not progressing to the next level, they cannot get the money. They cannot get the funding. They are not investment ready.
Nonetheless, their contributions to the economy is significant. According to the African Development Bank, women entrepreneurs face a $42 billion financing gap. Ime Nachayune Musoke is working to bridge this gap. Her enterprise support organization, Kazipreneur, is empowering women to grow from micro to macro businesses through capacity building, business formalization, and access to financial opportunities.
Their phone number. We have programs that actually guide the women to be investment ready. We guide you to the stage where you have a ready pitch deck. When you have a pitch deck that actually makes sense, you can pitch and get money, okay? And then we are trying to get women to be confident. If the men can stand up and pitch and win money, so can a woman. So we are doing all these things in the community, a bit of mindset change, a bit of business development, a bit of support through the community. The community aspect is really key for us.
Today, Ime meets Richard Zulu, the visionary founder of Outbox, the lead implementer of the NSSF High Innovator Program. Mkazipreneur is one of its implementing hubs.
Uganda is banking on entrepreneurship in order to get the young people into work. So our pension fund, the National Social Security Fund, also bought into the vision of unlocking patient capital for early stage small and growing businesses. We've invested $3.2 million in women-owned and women-led businesses. So we onboarded enterprise support organizations, Mukazipreneur being one of them, because entities like Mukazipreneur aggregate a lot of women-owned, women-led businesses.
Mkazipreneur's training programs have empowered over 5,000 women.
So now you know who you're selling to.
We are at the Mkazipreneur office. This is where women walk in and we do the training. The first stage of the training is the business academy.
This program is going to help me acquire a few machines that is going to help me increase my production at least by 50%. Then I'll be able to meet my customer demand.
We believe that because of the products these women produce, they have a place on the regional market. As part of our technical assistance, we are investing a lot in product quality certification. We've so far supporting our first batch of 21 businesses around that process so that their product can be exported at scale.
So if a micro business grows to medium, then to large, it will be easy for us to participate in the entire export readiness. It will be easy for them to improve their products, to improve the branding and all that. But without access to funding, the businesses are static, they are staying in one place.
While enterprise support organizations like Mkazipreneur and the NSSF High Innovator continue making commendable efforts in bridging this financial gap, the operationalization of mechanisms such as the Africa Trade Finance Facility will significantly bolster these efforts, as it will enable women and the youth entrepreneurs to readily access finance from commercial banks across Africa.
On a daily basis, I write about 15 letters of recommendation for companies, potential exporters, and for actual exporters. I see around anywhere 50 to 60% are women coming to ask to be supported to export. These are normally a micro and some SMEs. To encourage women to be in business, to encourage women to be in export, you will need women to be included in a financial deepening. As you deepen the economy, you need to deepen them.
The Africa Free Continental Trade Area comes at an opportune time. With Africa in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, technology emerges as a powerful ally.
I believe it's important for Africans to, step up when it comes to technology for two reasons. One, technology is the fourth industrial revolution. We were left behind in the previous ones. And so it will be a shame if we do not put, the intelligence, the genius of Africans to use.
Cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence, data management tools, and seamless payment infrastructure will be pivotal in fueling cross-border trade. This is particularly vital in a continent where many lack access to banking services and the internet.
Uganda has got now around 45 million human beings. Of those, until we got mobile money banking, at one time we had only 1 million banked Ugandans. It means that most Ugandans are not in the banking sector, are not in the financial sector.
For innovators like Shamira, it's an opportunity to rise to the occasion.
We believe that the African Free Continental Trade Area has some of the best objectives we've seen on any regional agreements. They want to unify Africa as a single market. They also want to unify Africa to have a single payment system.
In Kampala, Shamira runs the first female-founded fintech company. PivotPay is revolutionizing how Africans trade and transact.
Where we see an opportunity as a fintech or as Pivot Payments is the fact that there's all these big markets that are receptive to trade with each other. It's an opportunity for us to do the money movement for them and therefore contribute to having a unified African payment system.
Operating across 6 African countries, the Pan-African Payments Platform centralizes mobile money payments, bank transactions, and merchant payments, making commerce more efficient and accessible.
So the platform works in 2 ways. If we are talking about a single customer, they can put in money into the ecosystem or their account, because the account is instantly created. So just like today, you can use that application and just send money to Kenya. And then for businesses, theirs is slightly different because this is cross-border. And so we have to have more extra care, more due diligence. And so once you submit to us your company documents, we set you up on our system as a merchant. And once we set you up, then once you're able to either put it in your website, or if you don't have one, we give you a platform that you're going to trade with, you're able to do the payments and the transfers. So to speak, we're helping these businesses first and foremost cut down the cost of doing business. Secondly, we're helping these businesses in reducing the risks holding physical cash at their premises or cash in transit.
However, exporting digital services across Africa comes at a cost.
The first one is capital, because you need a transaction to be very seamless, that if I am transacting with someone in Nigeria, I'm transacting with someone in Ethiopia, South Sudan, Kenya, Tanzania, there has to be ample capital reserves in those markets, which we call float, or which we call the treasury in and of itself. The second thing is we are required to go and get licensed in each separate market, which is also very heavy in terms of costs. And the last thing is the speed and the growth of the economies. We are at different scales in the different markets. If you look at what's happening in Egypt, it's not the same as Uganda. And so, matching the speed of growth or matching the demands or the quality demanded by the different markets.
Pivot Pay has facilitated over 3 million transactions so far. While the AFCFTA protocol on digital trade recognizes e-commerce and digital innovations such as Pivot Pay as critical drivers for trade, gender disparities in mobile internet usage in sub-Saharan Africa remain worrying. According to the Group Special Mobile Association, GSMA, in 2022, only 34% of women used the internet compared to 46% of men, driven by factors including barriers to affordability, lack of technological literacy, gender biases, and social culture norms.
Technology plays a great role in that digitalization, making sure that these women have access to phones, at least to mobile technology, to have access to information. The problem is that there's always middle people taking advantage. So how do we make sure that we reduce this gap? We need to make a lot of awareness building, but technology is important for information, access to market, even marketing.
I would advise women, once you think about a solution that fits, the woman in Uganda, in Katwe, for example, it's probably the same person who is in Cote d'Ivoire having the same, who is selling fish. So there's fish markets all over Africa. If you're building a solution around here, you must build it to be scalable, to be able to be stable. Then that means you must put it online for you to be able to extend it to other markets.
It's an off-season in Otuke district, located in one of Uganda's last shea belt regions. Aluma Betty, a shea nuts dealer and farmer, pedals her bicycle. She is returning home from a 20-kilometer journey to source shea nuts. With the help of her daughter, they ignite the fire, pour the nuts into the saucepan, and Betty skillfully transforms them into exquisite shea butter, ready for sale. The economic landscape of this community has been shifting in recent years though, with the establishment of a shea processing factory.
When you export raw nuts, you only get like maybe 1% of the value. But when you have it as, first of all, as just the raw butter in buckets, you get a bit more value.
Founded in 2019, Momigen is contributing to the supply value chain as a primary producer of shea butter. The company purchases shea nuts from community mobilizers and traders like Betty at fair prices and processes them into shea butter products sold to SMEs and cosmetics companies across Africa and beyond.
We are doing value addition at source. Many people collect nuts and take them to far off places to process them, but as you can see, all around us here we are surrounded by shea trees, so our communities have a very short distance to reaching us. But also we use high-grade stainless steel machines to process our butter, which gives it an excellent shelf life. Most shea butters have a shelf life of about 18 months, but our shea butter has a shelf life of 3 years simply because of how it's processed.
Lydia says they initially aimed for international exports, but the COVID-19 pandemic reshaped their strategy.
We opened our factory in March 2020, just before the COVID mayhem started. And initially, of course, we were looking at international export markets. But all of a sudden, all those borders were close to us. But then we quickly realized Africa was trading. The trucks were moving from north to south, from east to west. Inter-African trade helped us to survive COVID because we had revenues, and we realized we do not have to trade beyond Africa to survive. We can just trade, even with the East African market, or then looking at COMESA, we are able to meet our costs and have revenues just within the continent.
However, the potential for women like Lydia in value addition remains undermined by the constraints they face. A 2013 World Bank study revealed that women often lack access to vital trader networks and essential information. Additionally, they grapple with transportation challenges.
What we have done to overcome the challenges we are facing with those kind of barriers is taking advantage of events. We are using a lot of exhibitions because then at least you're able to go with samples. If there are exhibitions out there or conferences, we try to attend them, especially in the relevant blocks we want to get into, so that we're able to find partners for those markets.
In addressing these barriers, Dr. Ruth B. Nzikamusoke says there is need for national level efforts to establish proper trade infrastructures to support women.
If you tell a person, you know what guys, there is a bus that is going to take you, a truck that goes to Zimbabwe every week, twice a day. There is another one that can take you to Malawi. There is another one that will take you to Djibouti. There is one that goes to Nigeria, and you can put all your things there. We'll clear you from here. You don't have to go through anything. We must simplify everything.
This simplicity, she asserts, should extend to providing women easier access to new markets.
A number of people manufacturing are not good at trading. I can have my iron sheets, I can have my soap or oil, but I'm not ready to go and look for markets in other countries. It means you need a trader that is now able to buy from you, go and establish warehouses and do the marketing and sell the product. Many women are scared of moving across borders because of the risk, of course. Risk in terms of theft, in terms of security, in terms of capital, to establish warehouses, in terms of marketing, in promoting some of those products. But there's so much more that we can get through value addition, because value addition gives you a better price and it can bring export earnings to the country as well.
In the heart of Addis Ababa, Africa's vibrant political capital, a remarkable scene of creation unfolds. The scissors glide through the fabric, the needle dances, stitching and designing the continent to economic heights. This is Gaba Garments, a garment manufacturing powerhouse.
Welcome to Gaba Garments. We are here at the production workshop. Today you get to see how we manufacture our garment products.
With the African Free Continental Trade Area, the emphasis on manufacturing and industrialization is gaining momentum, promising to not only unlock economic but human capital and create jobs for a continent with the world's youngest and fastest growing population.
Historically, Africa is known for exporting raw material, and as we know, we have not really benefited from that in terms of structural transformation, in terms of economic growth, in terms of even sustainable development in general.
Women's inclusion in manufacturing is key. A 2020 report by the International Center for Research on Women found that women accounted for 17% of the formal manufacturing sector in 2019, with most female-owned manufacturing operations being micro, small, and medium enterprises in the informal sector. However, in Addis Ababa, Janet Lema is working to defy these statistics.
We source our material mainly locally from different industry parks. We also work with other textile companies that have branches in other parts of the world, but also in Ethiopia, and we pride ourselves in being a Made in Ethiopia brand. The industry that I'm in is actually quite competitive, the garment sector in general, because we're competing with products that are manufactured and imported from China, from Pakistan, from India, and different parts of the world that have obviously more experience than us, than Ethiopia, and can manufacture goods at a cheaper price. Yeah, this is good. Pending, finding the right type of quality of raw material or fabric that satisfies the quality requirements that we have is very difficult. Especially because most of the textile companies that fulfill those type of quality standards have a minimum order requirement. And one thing that we found useful is to work with other garment owners so we can source collectively together and fulfill the minimum order requirement.
But there is reason to be optimistic. I
will face less restriction finding raw material that qualify within my standards. That the AFCFTA being effective now means I can source now from Ivory Coast polyester cotton fabric that is good quality.
Additionally, the AFCFTA Rules of Origin Certificate will provide preferential market access for local manufacturers like Gaba Garments, which will give them competitive edge over foreign imports. However, to increase participation of women in formal manufacturing, Dr. Marit Kito emphasizes the urgent implementation of the Africa Commodity Strategy, which aims to promote value addition of Africa's commodities and resources.
It's very elaborate how that strategy goes down with action plan and when you come to capacity building, first of all, we identify who they are. Women in doing value addition, whether it's in agricultural products or whether it's in textile, whether it's in a garment factory, or is it in the mining. So first we identify them. And the one I know, because I'm working on Mineral Center, we know that we provide training and skills on lapidary. Lapidary means like adding value to the gemstones. But there are also other skills that they can have for a value addition on the other sectors as well. But it has to be targeted. We have to know who they are, target them. And we have, through this commodity strategy and through the Africa Mining Vision, we have the mandate to do that.
It's very rare for people to say that they found their purpose and they get to do for a living what they love. But I think I can honestly say that. It feels amazing to know that you were able to create jobs, but not just any jobs, but dignified jobs.
As the sun sets on another day at Gaba Garments, it's clear that when more women thrive in manufacturing and value addition, they weave a brighter future for Africa. Through the elimination of tariff and non-tariff barriers, the Africa Free Continental Trade Area is projected to boost Africa's income by $450 billion by 2035 and increase intra-African exports by over 81%, according to the World Bank statistics. Despite numerous hurdles, women impressively contribute 33% to the continent's GDP and dominate 70% of informal cross-border trade. With adequate mechanisms that supports them in business formalization, financial and digital inclusion, manufacturing, and value addition, as well as the adoption of the AFCFTA protocol on women and young traders, women have the potential to significantly enhance Africa's economic growth.
So this is a bigger market, and in a bigger market we expect to sell more, and when we sell more we expect to get more money. This will create more jobs for women enterprises, but also for the households. And because women come from households, this will expand the economy. And this economy, when it expands, when it is monetized, our GDP will expand, our poverty will reduce.
From Addis Ababa to Kampala, women are making bold and innovative entrepreneurial strides. Their products and services need to spread beyond borders.